Hello and welcome back to this channel. My name is Muhammad, and today's topic we are talking about the catapult, not the not the medieval catapult, the one that shoots rocks, but the mech catapult that shoots out missiles instead. This thing. Now, the catapult is an offensive oriented second line fire support mech that well, it's as it suggests, it's a support mech, so naturally it doesn't have that many offensive capabilities. Well, defensive, I mean. Its primary weapons are two Holly LRM-15 launchers, which gives the catapult a range of like over 600 meters. It so for six it gives that range gives the gives the catapults able to support their friendly units at ranges of over 600 meters. And in case the enemy um, in case enemies get close to the catapult, it has four Martel medium lasers, which are enough to scare off most light and medium mechs from closing within on the catapult. However, since the catapult was designed to stand behind the main line of battle, it lacks anti-infantry weapons or weapons for close quarters. However, the catapult has However, the greatest weakness of the catapult is the ammunition. Only 1 ton or 8 reloads for each launcher gives the catapult a level of endurance which is barely acceptable. The catapult has 10 tons of armor for ample protection, as well as a cruising speed of 43.2 kilometers an hour, I think, and as well as 15 heat sinks to ensure that the weapons just don't overheat too easily. This helps it tremendously with its whole purpose of being a support mech. In the left and right rear torso of the catapult, it also has four jump jets, which gives the catapult a jumping distance of 120 meters, which which allows it to have an ability to pace faster units over broken terrain. The catapult also has a unique feature of having the ejection seat shoot out sideways. It's surprising to new catapult pilots. Now, initially, the catapult was produced around from like 2561 to 2563 on a limited contract for the Terran hegemony. It was Hollis Incorporated's first foray into the mech market, and it was produced in record numbers over its initial 3 year period from the company's brand new state of the art factory. However, while it had performed adequately at its role, what it was not quite what the hegemony wanted. With the large number of mechs of the catapults still out in the field, it would see continued use within the Star League Defense Force, with second line and specialist formations such as mountaineering regiments. However, the factory that constructed them proceeded to switch over to the more successful Battle Master, and the limited production of spare parts for the catapults just couldn't stop their numbers from dwindling. So when the Star League fell, many of the remaining catapults had joined Alexander Kerensky on his exodus, and the Capella Confederation collected most of the catapults that remained in the inner sphere. And the Hollis factory on Kore briefly produced new models and spare parts, and at the same time, the Draconis Combine managed to seize a sizable force in their capture of Diron. Um, However, the renewed production ended when the Kore factory was destroyed during the onset of the First Succession War, which ensured the rarity of the catapult throughout the rest of the era. And entire invasions were commenced simply to seize the remaining number of these mechs, particularly those launched by the Federated Suns against the Draconis, against the Confederation. There were many variants of these designs produced throughout its lifetime, and the catapult's rarity began to reverse in 3033 when Yori Mechworks was contracted by DCMS to restart production of the catapult K2 on El Nair. The greatest change to the chassis became later with the introduction of the catapult C3, which had swapped out the original LRMs for much more larger and more powerful artillery missiles. In the years prior to and after the clan invasion, the Confederation and Combine retained the largest number of existing catapults, though many periphery realms would field some of the centuries older models. And more variants would continue to be produced for decades. Some of the variants were the CPLT. I think it just says catapult. A1. The A1 variant of the catapult was designed without backup weapons, while it doubles the amount of LRM ammo carried and adds on 2 tons of armor. It is highly susceptible to close range attacks and has little defense if an enemy does manage to close in on it. And then the catapult C1B in 26 It was in 2688. Royal units were issued kits to upgrade their standard C1 catapults to the C1B variant. The weapon array stays the same, but the ammunition has been doubled for improved protection. Ferrofibrous armor is used, and case CASE. It's an acronym. Has been added to both torso. Finally, 12 double strength heat sinks replace the old singles. Uh, Catapult C2 is a Civil War era variant and is built using the Hollis Mark III endo steel chassis and and powered by a Magna 260 extra light engine, using the saved weight to make the C2 a dedicated long range mech. The primary weapons are two federated LRM-15 launchers mated to an Artemis 4 fire control system and fed by 4 tons of ammo. The medium lasers have been replaced with two Defiant Shredders. Oh, that's a gun. LB2X ACs sharing a single ton of ammo. While this makes the catapult vulnerable to close range attacks, it also makes it extremely deadly at long range. Then there are some custom variants because you know the catapult is a mech from a universe known as battletech. I forgot to mention this because most people don't know this. But in battletech, everything went back to a feudal society. So these mechs, you know, mech pilots are like knights, and like knights, they usually own these. The people who ride these mechs own these mechs, and they customize it however they please, such as Jenny Templeton of the Chesterton Reserves. Yeah. So there are some custom variants, such as the Catapult C1 Jenny Butterby, the personal ride of MechWarrior Jenny Templeton of the Chesterton Reserves. This variant of the catapult replaces the standard arm-mounted LRM-15s with a quartet of SRM short-range missiles of SRM-6 missile launchers, two in each arm. So yeah, I think I think that's all I gotta really talk about for today. Uh, Thanks for watching if you're still watching, and thanks for sticking around if you have. Bye.